Hello and thanks for choosing our TV News. This is what we have coming up for you. On Tuesday, President Paul Kagame met with George Bickerstaff, Jerome Han, Kin, and their delegation from the International Vaccine Institute. Also coming up, Rwanda needs $30 million to provide mobile phone communication network in the 300 places across the country that need it. Thanks for choosing RTV News. I am Isabel Masolzera. We come to you live from Kigali, Rwanda. Now, top of our edition on Tuesday, President Paul Kagame met with George Bickerstaff, the chairperson of the International Vaccine Institute's Board of Trustees, Jerome Han Kin, the Director General of the International Vaccine Institute, and their delegation. Their discussions focused on vaccine development and the necessary research. Now, Rwanda Biomedical Center says 96% of the children in the country have received basic vaccines, and Rwanda is one of the 38 member countries of the International Vaccine Institute, beg your pardon. Now, IVI leaders are visiting Rwanda to check on the status of the country's immunization program. One of their priorities of this South Korean-based organization, founded in 1997, is to ensure children's health through access to new and effective vaccines. Moving on, Rwanda needs $30 million to provide mobile phone communication network in the 300 places across the country that need it. Rwanda's Minister of ICT and Innovation, Paul Ngabire, reiterated this while delivering a brief during the plenary session of the Chamber of Deputies, and also highlighted what has been done so far to solve the problem. We go to Jessica Agasaro for more. We'll be back with that report, but for now we move on to more news. Senators on the Political Affairs and Governance Committee at the Rwandan Parliament requested Gasabo district administrators to inform the citizens when they are not able to accomplish their projects on time, because this fuels citizen-centered leadership. Prince Manzi has this report.
The Rwanda Health Post was brought at the request of residents in the last fiscal year. Citizens appreciate this move and how the administrators consider their views before establishing any project for the public.
The sector health post is in Kachiru, so it was not easy for the patients as the journey was long. So we requested the district for the construction of a health post, and it was done in a year.
Recently, they asked us what to be done in this year, and we replied that we want the renovation of this road near the Pentecost Church. Then they promised to work on it soon. Nevertheless, there are views of residents taken but not timely met, and they are also not informed on the progress. The Gasabo District Executive Administrator, Pauline Umwali, elaborates that this is sometimes due to lack of enough budget.
We receive these views and discuss with advisory councils from cells, and the approved decisions are considered in the budget. There might be 10 ideas, but the budget available is for one idea only. We put into consideration the urgent matters, as it is the one we have the budget for.
On Tuesday, the senators in the Committee on Political Affairs and Governance visited the Gasabo district, discussed with residents as well as the administrators, and requested the administrators to often communicate with the residents on the progress with the citizens' proposed projects to be considered in the revision on the budget use. Citizens have tangible requests such as roads, hospitals and other big things that sometimes exceed the district's budget, but you find that the administrators do not communicate with them on the progress, and the citizens wait in vain without knowing what will happen next. We request administrators to return and explain to the residents the progress in the implementation of the projects. The Gasabo district demonstrates that in the fiscal year 2021-2022, the collected citizens' views were 451, and 36% of them were considered in the budget. This is mostly due to the lack of enough budget. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince. On Wednesday, the Rwanda Investigation Bureau staff across the country convened for their general meeting under the theme, Enhancing Professionalism by Providing Efficient and Rapid Services. Prince Manzi continues.
The Rwanda Investigation Bureau staff convened in for annual discussions and skills empowering with the aim of analyzing the performance of this bureau in the past years. The participants, including the awarded due to their hard work, appreciate this bureau's staff forefront values, including the fight against corruption, among others.
Ibiganiro by'uyu munsi icyo bigiye kumfasha biramfasha gukomeza gukoresha ubunyamwuga nsanganywe.
Today's discussions are going to help me in my profession because we learned various lessons that can help us to develop. It is in our mandate to fight against corruption, and we have to also follow up on the one who provided the bribe so that he can be brought to justice, for it to be a lesson to others willing to give bribes to the Investigation Bureau staff.
Our job can have challenges, but thanks to the skills we have as investigators, including patience and abiding by the law, we are able to perform well. The Secretary General of the Rwanda Investigation Bureau, Kanojano Truhunga, reminded the RIB staff that in accordance to the year's theme, the priority is to listen and service the citizens. As the theme states, ameliorating professionalism by providing efficient and rapid service. Our goal this year is to provide services that are efficient to our citizens. That is why we always work hard and empower each other to improve our services, because if our services are bad, the effects are worse to the citizens. The Minister of Justice, Dr. Emmanuel Girashebuja, also participated in these discussions and urged this bureau staff to work appropriately for the sake of the Rwanda's justice system by focusing mainly on the truth, discipline, respect and working hard.
We do hope that the integrity level of the staff of RIB will be, as I presented earlier, beyond Caesar's wife, which means they are expected to behave in a way that they are not suspected of lack of independence, impartiality, and as well as integrity. So we do hope that staff members of RIB, and this is why I like calling this a vocation. It is beyond employment. It's a vocation, and once it's a vocation, it's a calling. It requires one to work beyond how one would work in other normal offices.
In this general meeting, there are different staff with bad performance were expelled as Rwanda Investigation Bureau staff. 25 staff were certified thanks to their professionalism in their work, and 3 staff retired. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Prince, the Ministry of Public Service and Labour urges the private sector institutions to comply with the labour law and also to improve their employer-employee interaction in order to address the existing issues in the private sector. Olivon Tete unpacks more.
In a compliance forum on labour standards that brought together the Ministry of Public Service and Labour, various private institutions working in Kigali, syndicates of workers and other institutions, discussions reiterated on revealing existing challenges and how they can be addressed. Challenges revealed include that some employers of the private sector do not give contracts to employees, the issue of not providing payment of salaries through financial institutions, and other various problems. Some members of the syndicates that advocate for the rights of workers expressed their views on how these existing challenges can be addressed.
There should be dialogues between employers and employees so that employees can have the space to express their opinions as well. And that can improve the performance and decent work status and can also give productivity to the employer. What should be done is that employers should comply with the law as it is stated. And if there is a law that hinders performance, it can be reviewed, but meanwhile, they should comply with the law. Secondly, We requested there should be interactions with the employee and employers.
The Minister of Public Service and Labour, Fanfan Gwanyindo Kairangwa, urges employers of the private sector to comply with the labour law in order to avoid further hindrances that may arise.
What we request the employers is to comply with the law because it's mandatory. We cannot afford to continue to have employees who don't have their rights respected. So the employers should apply the law and pay the social security for the employees. And the solution we can propose is continue to do that compliance forum and also to sanction or to punish those who are not complying with the labor law.
In the inspection carried out by the Ministry of Public Service and Labour on decent work status in the city of Kigali, it was revealed that the percentage of providing employment contracts to workers in the private sector was at 70.8% in the year 2021-2022, and it is currently at 61.1%. Providing social security contributions moved from 89.1% to 89.6%, while payment of salaries through financial institutions was at 91.3% in 2021-2022, and it is currently at 89.2%. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Olive. Rwanda needs $30 million to provide mobile phone communication network in the 300 places across the country that need it. Now, Rwanda's Minister of ICT and Innovation, Paul Ngabire, reiterated this while delivering a brief during the plenary session of the Chamber of Deputies, and also highlighted what has been done to solve this problem. Jessica Agasaro now reports.
There are about 300 areas in about 42 sectors across the country where residents are unable to attend or make calls using their mobile phone due to the lack of telephone and satellite communication network. It is an additional problem that appeared on the Irembo as subscribed by its operators. After we tell them they are married, they deny it and explains that they have been a widower for 12 years and they have notified it that the husband died in the sector, but we tell them we cannot help them before you change your status. Another problem is that when you're married to someone and the system shows that one is married, another one is single. Those are problems, we need it resolved. Especially, the status should be changed in life and in the system.
For me, we live in Kagugu, but because of my neighborhood, the network is the problem, to the point when I'm home, I have no service in my phone.
It means when the network is down, the service goes down as well. So if a citizen needs some document on Irembo to take to the embassy with an appointment, they end up being late for their appointment. These are the challenges and questions that were presented to the group of deputies during their trip around the country from March 12th to 30th, 2022. Another problem we have, Honorable, is to link information from different institutions, especially when it's about a newborn child and when they have to register that someone have died, either in the sector, health centers, and NIDA. These are the issues that they have presented to us, and I would like to ask if someone's file is registered in 3 different places, what is missing so that those information can be linked or be kept in the same way, even if it's different places.
When you leave Rwanda and go somewhere near, like in Uganda with your MTN line, you cannot use internet anymore, even though you can pick calls in roaming. So I would like to ask if there is a way internet roaming can be affordable as it states in the East African Agreement.
The last time we went to visit the citizen in this sector, we found out that they didn't have any network. It's a place you can go for a whole time and not use your phone. They don't use the radio or the television. The citizens are very lonely. That's why I want this sector to be taken care of so that the technology can reach the citizen living there and they can benefit from it. For example, I'm in Kigali and I'm calling someone from Bugarama, and the telecom satellite is the one network they are using because they are near the border of the country. When they move, they cannot be able to answer the call anymore. For the citizen who faces those challenges, how are you planning to solve that issue? Because I didn't hear you mention it. The Minister of ICT and Innovation, Paula Ingabire, says that $30 million are needed so that the mobile phone communication and network can reach to 98% in the whole country.
ubwo bugenzuzi hamwe n'inzego z'ibanze zigenda zitugaragariza ahantu hose harimo ibibazo bya network.
The audit we did with local authorities show that where the network are not, and we talk about the set last year, we work in a place where there is a need of 300 new towers. But when we go back to the fund or the capacity we have, we cannot exceed 80 new towers per year. That is what we can work according to our abilities. That is to say, as the citizen, we are going to put this in our priority so that this problem can be resolved. The network problem, it means that if you build 60 towers in 1 year, build another 80 in the next year, they'll still be late. People keep asking when they will be available. The problem of information not being shared between different institutions of child registered at birth or someone being registered at their death. Minister Ingabire Paula says that there is a plan to connect information from books and put it into technology. 100 services are equal to 58% that are currently provided with the help of technology. There are still 18 months left until 2024 reaches, and by then, 660 services that will be equal to 42% of the rest will be installed so that all services can be provided with the help of technology.
Thank you, Jessica, for that report. The vulnerable families in Kayonza district appreciate the program facilitating their children's welfare because it helps their children study well and it fights stunting. Take a look.
In Nyang'hora region, in Gwinhwavu sector of Kayonza district, residents have a low income generally due to the long sunny season affecting their crops. These low incomes stimulate the teen pregnancy that result into struggling to survive for these girls and their young ones. The Nyang'hora Foundation started supporting such families for their development, helping children lacking uniforms to take to schools. Like today, about 250 uniforms were provided. About 800,000 Rwanda francs will also be provided to buy different cooking necessities at their school. There are teens that got pregnant, so these cows are for them to feed their young ones. In this project that includes touristic activities and arts based on Rwandan culture, stunted children were given domestic animals and more appreciated by the parents.
By having milk and eggs, this will assist our children in development and prevent them from stunting.
The ambassador of Belgium to Rwanda, Belt Vermessen, appreciates how this project facilitates young people to develop.
Ce qui est bien pour ce projet, c'est qu'il y a une dimension économique, il y a une dimension investissement créatrice d'emplois.
The beauty of all this is that this project demonstrates its part in economic investment and creativity, and also supporting the vulnerable, but also the cultural initiative. This means that they train the young ones about cultural arts.
Rwandaise, de la danse, de la musique, voire même de la poésie ou certains métiers.
This project will help more than 100 residents of Gwinhwavu sector.
Moving on, the Connect Technology Conference is convening in Rwanda for 3 days, bringing together representatives from the ICRC, the IFRC, and the International Red Cross and Red Crescent movements to increase humanitarian impact through technology. We learn more from Jessica Agasaro.
This 3 days conference seeks to establish a worldwide tech community for IFRC, ICRC, and the national societies to increase their key technological capability to maximize mutual learning and how to provide rapid relief with the help of technology.
Technology can help us to better know the environment where we act, can help us better know the beneficiaries, their needs, and to have a more tailor-made response for their needs. It should not be any more standard-based solutions. It has to be more tailor needs responses for the beneficiaries.
Christopher Sat, the Director General of ICRC and the International Red Cross in Rwanda, says that this technology will help them to know where they are working and seek help early in order to prevent what happens when it is possible to prevent it.
It's certainly interesting to see how much Rwanda is investing on the digital transformation and becoming, like I said, a real example in Africa in terms of using digital to advance, societal impact and to advance public service, and we are supporting some of that effort too through the work also jointly with the United Nations and our team.
And the head of the Global UN and Eagle Sector Lead Tech for Social Impact, Alexander Pino, says that the reason why the organization decided to host this meeting in Rwanda because it is one of the countries in Africa that is accelerating the use of technology as well as digital marketing.
All of the Red Crosses globally, we have to work together. We have to work with our suppliers, and we have to work with government and industry and innovation centres like this place at Norsken. We have to work together to be able to have the resources and the knowledge to be able to deliver on that.
Yeah, so what we do at this conference is connect national Red Cross and Red Crescent societies with one another. And for example, the Netherlands Red Cross can support the Rwanda Red Cross in using digital means to deliver cash to people affected by all kinds of crises in Rwanda.
The ICRC, IFRC and the National Red Cross and the Red Crescent societies, along with their partners, says that the technology is going to make it easy to help those who are in need to receive a better and timely services. This conference will last 3 days, where it will look at what appeared to be an obstacle in aid without the use of technology and how it could be solved using this technology. Jessica Gasaro, RwandaTV News.
That's all we had for you folks. Thanks for choosing RwandaTV News. I am Isabel Masozera. Keep it right here.